Yo ho ho, yo ho ho, yo ho ho. Yeah, it's Christmas, or no, it's Christmas Eve to be precise. Or well, I'm recording this on the 23rd, so I was intending to upload it on Christmas Eve if I can get my arse in gear. Not that I've got much to do tomorrow. I've pretty much done everything. I feel quite smug. A little bit short now. I've got a new chair, by the way. That's why I keep going fiddling with my chair. I could always do that, I suppose, couldn't I? Tilt that forward. Yes. Oh, bollocks. Hang on, that's what I haven't done. That's better. My notes. I needed my notes. Yeah, pickups. Just me this time. Father Christmas is away. I can't remember what Father Christmas did last year. Did he actually turn up? Did he do that stupid demonstration of how he cleans his PS1 games? I can't remember. Or was it me pretending to be Father Christmas at the beginning and then doing a pickups video? Very similar to this, but with a different jumper. Can't remember. I think it was the PS1 game cleaning thing, wasn't it? Yeah, that was rubbish. Let's be honest, it was. So this time, yeah, he's busy. He's away. I've had a word, and he's going to try and send me like a little postcard, like a little, sort of saying where he is. So, yeah, well, let's just say it's Christmas Eve. I've got me a pint of Lidl's finest. No, it's what was it? Golden Goose, Pale Ale, Golden Ale. It's called. Yeah, it was only about 120, for almost a pint. It's not bad. Actually, I'm going through this. I'm going through this phase of trying all of Lidl's like beers. You know, uh, um, mainly it's sort of like inspired by the sort of the craft ale phase, craft ale craze. But weirdly, I had a real sort of piss poor pint of lager recently, and it made me oddly nostalgic for shit lager. But anyway, yeah. But anyway, it's Christmas Eve. I've got my pint of Lidl's finest. Lidl's finest. It's not that bad, to be honest. No. And I thought I'd do a pickups video because Santa's not here, or in real terms, I couldn't think of anything to do. No, it is Santa. Sorry. Santa couldn't think of anything to do when he wanted to do a video, but so he's away and he's going to send me a postcard, and if I get it, I'll tack it onto the end or something, like with a little little message, a little sensory message, just for everybody who remembers that's what happens around Christmas time on my channel. So yeah, so I thought dive straight back into the comfort zone, pickups, perusing my note. Oh, I really need to cut this bit of my beard because I can do that with it. It's right down over my top lip, and it's I want the sort of like one of them really cool bushy beards, but for some reason I just look like, I don't know, like an old tramp. Yeah, so shit all over the screen. A pickups video. This is actually my third attempt at this. First attempt was all right, but for some reason my computer's playing silly buggers, and it missed about a minute off the end or 90 seconds off the end, which was the best 90 seconds of the whole 45-minute video. So I thought, I threw my toys out the pram and deleted it all just because it had chopped off 90 minutes. I could have added a bit on the end, but no. I threw a wobbler like a child and deleted it. And because I'd already done it, when I tried another time, it just felt like I was going through the motions. I felt like I was repeating myself. And I looked at that one again and thought, no, it does. I look sort of bored. I feel like I'm going through the motions. So I scrapped that one as well. And I thought, no, there's more shit on the screen. I thought, no, I didn't think there's more shit on the screen. That's not what I thought. I thought, no, I'm going to have another go, but I'll leave it. I'll give myself a bit of a buffer. Maybe I can sort of relax slightly, forget what I'd already spoken about in the previous two goes, and the closer to Christmas it is, maybe I'll have something else to utilise in the video, so I don't look so bored and sort of, going through the motions. So yeah, this will be the third go of this video. I've got my notes. Maybe that's probably not a good thing because, if I've got notes, then I'll only be repeating what I've said before. But anyway, I don't know. I'm just winging it. When do I not ever wing it? Always. But right, first things first though, I've actually got a little bit of a plug. And it's not plugged for anyone else. It's sort of plugged for me and someone else. Two of us. If you remember going back a few videos ago, not the charity shop top 15 bullshit, but pickups videos ago, I had this sort of vague idea about this sort of kernel. There's basically a very, very basic kernel of an idea about building up some sort of community surrounding exchange of knowledge about the merchandise you can get in CEX, the retro stuff and the condition it's in, so that we can it's basically geared around getting rid of the CEX lottery that everybody knows about. So we all know what's available, we all know what sort of condition it's in, so then we don't have to play the lottery so much. And it was about the sort of exchange of information. I'm in London. I've got about 6 or 7, 8 branches within easy travelling distance, but they haven't got a lot of stuff I want. All that other stuff is somewhere else. And so if someone's there near the stuff I want and they know what sort of conditions it's in, they will know. I haven't even said what I'm going on about, have I? From that kernel of an idea, Dave Robinson from Twitter, also known as Cypher on YouTube, he's basically taken that kernel of idea and run with it and turned it into something proper and usable. And he's basically created a Reddit page, an actual functional, useful Reddit page. And I've signed up for it. He signed me up for it. He added me as I signed myself up for it. He added me as a moderator. So now I can wield the axe if I want to. It's given me a weird sense of power. Not that that's not what I'm in the game for, but it has. But basically, it's a Reddit page for those sort of exchanges of information. It's about sort of letting people know the condition of certain things you've seen in Computer Exchange, and also requesting information as well. If there's something you want to have a look at, if anybody might know what sort of conditions it's in. So I'm going to leave a link, or at least you can search for it on Google yourself. It's CEX_request. That might change. That's all Dave's work. Pretty much, it's 99% Dave's work, and the sort of like the little kernel of a concept. Basically, concept is my contribution, and because of that, I get a role as a moderator. I feel slightly sort of unworthy, but anyway. But it's all Dave, pretty much all Dave's work, and he's done really nice. It works. But as it is, there's only 2 of us who are members, and there are two posts, and they're both mine. They're both about Mega Man 8. I want to know what the 3 copies of Mega Man 8 are like, and also and there's a post about the copy of Mega Man Wily Wars in a very nearby branch of Computer Exchange about the fact that it's got a reproduction cover. So basically, the whole thing lives and dies on how many people use it, and sort of the more people use it, the more people are who can body of people who can exchange information, cover the whole country and all of these branches of Computer Exchange all over the place. And so, have I really fucked up that explanation? I'm sure it makes sense in my head, but it's either way, check out the link because Dave's done a really good job. If you want to use it, you probably would be better to make yourself a Reddit account if you haven't already. I have no idea how it works. I've just literally made one up for the purposes of this little venture. But you can peruse the posts, my 2 posts so far, even if you haven't got a sort of a Reddit account. But it's another branch of social media. So check it out. It should help us. It should help us. That's basically what we're aiming to do here. Creating a tool that we can all use and benefit from. So check it out. It makes sense, doesn't it? But anyway, yeah. But anyway, Dave's done a brilliant job. So have a look. Right. What am I talking about now? I've got my notes, and none of them segue nicely from what I was just talking about. I've got decorating falling off the ladder. I did fall off a ladder. I fell off a ladder. All this shit behind me, you see, all this shit behind me. Doing a bit of this is a wardrobe I ordered, and it was out in the hall. That door behind me, it was out there, and it's basically for me, and my old wardrobe is going to go into a room that I'm decorating. I was painting it up an old ladder, and the ladder went whoosh while I was on it. I surfed it. I didn't fall off. It was remarkable. My balance. I got the balance of a cat, and I basically surfed it down. I surfed this ladder. I went from like that to like that, and I was still on it at the end. But I was quite proud, weirdly proud. But yeah, all this stuff here is my wardrobe. My wardrobe, this new wardrobe, is going to go into my room. My old wardrobe is going to go into the room that I'm painting. But at the moment, I've got nowhere to store it because it was sitting out in the hall, and literally it had been there 5 minutes, and my cat pissed up it. He walked past it because he's getting on a bit, to be honest. He's getting on a bit. And he's getting a bit insecure and highly strung. He's a bit anxious. He's getting old. He's 18. And he does a lot of that sort of thing. You know, it's trying. It's trying. I won't deny it. But yeah, he decided to relieve himself up my new wardrobe. So I wasn't best pleased. I won't deny it. The thought of drop kicking him into next week did go through my head, but I didn't. No. I could have done, but I didn't. I chose not to. I was the better man of the two of us. But anyway. But then going back a couple of days ago, I was woken by this god awful noise in the morning, and I woke up and he'd tried to climb on this clothes horse that I'd collapsed, and it was leaning against the wall, and he tried to climb on it, and being like an old cat, he didn't do very well, and I reckon he probably pulled it down on top of himself, and his leg was sort of trapped in it like that, and he was going. That's not funny. Sorry, that's not funny. I'm not laughing at it, but he's all right. It's fine. Basically, you know. I'll tell you what. To be honest, this was going back a couple of days, and he barely looks like he's sort of, you know, he looks pretty much 99%, 100% normal, but his leg was trapped in it, and I was sort of like woke up in a haze, and found him there. And I didn't really know what to do with it, and I was trying to move the clothes horse because it wasn't in a position where I could open it out because it was all sort of in a room with a load of shit in it. So I had to sort of pull it, and his leg was trapped right in it, and at one point he was basically suspended by his leg. It was trapped in his clothes horse. But then, eventually opened it up, and he fell out, and he sort of like hobbled away. Oh, not hobbled, that's hobbling. And we went to the vet, and the vet gave him opioids, basically gave him opium. And the whole of yesterday and a little bit this morning, he was totally off his tits, properly like, whoa, just staring like this. It was quite a thing to behold, but he's fine. So that's why I can laugh, because he is fine. You know, if he'd ultimately sort of had to lose a leg, this wouldn't be a laughing matter, but he didn't, and I can, so there we go. Right. I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to say, apart from the stuff I've got to show you. The first 2 goes of this video took about 45 minutes. but they didn't have all that extra shit in them. So chances are this is going to be an hour-long job. But oh dear. Right. Anyway, I better whiz on then. Whiz on? I've never said that before. Have a bit more of the old Lidl's best. You know, although people disparage Lidl, or I used to, if I was honest, but not this Christmas, but in past Christmases, they've like released proper top quality whiskey for dirt cheap, like 25-year whiskey for sort of about 40 quid, which is fucking nuts. Sort of what should otherwise be like a £200 bottle of whiskey, is me spitting again, £200 bottle of whiskey for 40 quid. Crazy, but right, excuse me. Where to start? Well, I'm going to basically... My sister's boyfriend is a graphic designer, and we went round there for my sister's birthday recently, and he's got a load of stuff that he was given. If anybody knows any graphic designers, or is a graphic designer, you will know that you get given a load of free shit. He gets given a load of free shit. And he was doing some work for a publisher. Basically, they wanted like a display box, and he asked for a load of samples to do like a weight sort of test for his display box that he designed. And they sent him all this shit, and they sent him a load, and he's been basically trying to get rid of it ever since. But it's really nice. Tintin on the Moon. Yeah, it's just a really nice thing. I thought he offered it to me. I can't turn that down. You know, it's top quality. It's a really nice thing, even though I've never really been into Tintin. I was more of an Asterix kid. When I used to go to the library, the Tintins and the Asterixes, or the Asteri, don't know what the plural is of Asterix. I'm going to say Asteri. The Tintins and the Asteris were in the same bit of the library, and I would go through the Asterixes, but if there were none left, I would always like begrudgingly take a Tintin, but they never really grabbed me. I was never really grabbed by the Tintins. That's when I can remember saying in the first two goes of this video. But the first time I did it, it was totally off the cuff. Honest, it was. But yeah, so he let me have it. Just gave it to me for free. And it's about 17 quid. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, so that's a good game to be in by all accounts. Become a graphic designer and you get loads of free shit. Right, that's the only one and only book. The rest is media. I suppose you call it media, can you? Yeah. This one, no one's going to be interested in this, but I feel compelled just to wave it in front of the camera. It's a DVD called Dührer's Rhinoceros. Everyone's looking at me going, what the fuck is that? Well, I can't explain. So I won't. Right, on to things people might know what they actually are. Something that I would have liked to have watched, but I didn't have Sky. I have got Sky now, actually. No, I've got Sky Movies. Because I got a Sky now TV stick for Game of Thrones. They keep sending me all this stuff, and now I've got like a month's trial of Sky Movies over Christmas. So I get to watch all their really good stuff. So all their all the stuff that's not. No, it is, isn't it? No, I was going to say Infinity War and all of that isn't on Blu-ray yet, and it is. Oh well, but I get to watch it for free. But this is something that was on Sky. It's a television program and something I always like the look of, but not willing to actually give Sky my money at the time because out principle. Anyway, it's True Detective was in a charity shop. I forgot did it come with? It was 50p. Yes, I couldn't really turn it down. And I thought it's one of those things that once I've watched it, I'll probably trade it in because I don't really want to keep it. And probably get me 50p back in credits at least. And with that, this is probably more something I wanted to keep called American Animals, a film I have actually seen, but I bought it hoping it might be worth trading in, having once watched it, although I have actually already seen it on Amazon. But, there's logic in there somewhere. But no, this is actually a really good film. It's a strange sort of pseudo documentary. At least I think it is. It's done like a documentary, but something in my mind tells me that it's all fictionalized. It's all fictional, but it's set up like a documentary because they have the sort of almost like it plays out in like on the screen, and they have all these sort of cutaways to the talking heads type people, you know. But it's basically about these sort of American university age students who are a bit like bored and all of that, you know, a bit disaffected, I suppose, a bit probably too clever for their own good, and decide to commit a heist to steal some very rare and valuable books from one of their universities. And it's a really nice, interesting film. Different. It feels slightly, puts you on edge because you're not quite sure what's real and what's not. But yeah, and I'll probably get my money back if I traded it in. So, oh well, that little venture failed, but the film is good, so I won't complain too much if I have to keep it. Or you know. American Animals, and upgrade the road for yet another sort of doomsday miserable film. It's just one I really enjoy. Can't say it's a film I'm going to watch constantly, but I wanted the Blu-ray of it, and this is an upgrade because I had the DVD, and it's just a little bit too bleak to watch a lot of. But it does have the redemption in it. It does have the element of hope. But and of all the many, let's face it, there are lots of them, apocalyptic films around. Something tells me that this is probably this is probably the closest to how things would actually work if it ever came down to it. You know, so basically this is like a Bible. This is something everyone should watch. How to survive during an actual apocalypse. You know, all the others probably seem a bit too fantasy, what's the word? I was going to say finalised, but that's clearly not the right one. A bit too. There is a word I'm thinking of, but it's not coming to mind. Fanciful, that's it. Fanciful, is that right? Anyway, yeah. I reckon this is probably how things are supposed to say. The Road. It's a barrel of laughs. And a film that is another upgrade, but I haven't actually seen the other one, so this is not a film I've seen, but it's a film I've sort of really wanted to. It's called Brick. It's by Rian Johnson, him of Looper, The Last Jedi fame. Last Jedi, I really like it. So screw you, all you naysayers. I just think that I'm better than everyone else. That's basically what. No, I don't think that. But I just prefer not to be a reactionary. But anyway, yeah, no, it's. I think it's one of his early films, if not his first feature film. It's basically takes the American noir style and adds it, sort of transposes it to a high school setting. It's got Joseph Gordon-Levitt as a high school sort of. I suppose you could say sort of like the Humphrey Bogart sort of Sam Spade type character from the classic noir trope. Is it trope? Is that the right word? I don't know. But and it uses the themes and the language and the dialogue, because the dialogue in noir is very, very sort of particular and specific, and it's meant to be a very, very good film, but I haven't seen it. But I've already upgraded it before I've watched the DVD, so it might be better as a Blu-ray, but who knows? But this was in a charity shop with The Road, and they're all £1 each. I thought, yeah. And got Ghostbusters. So not talking about not being too precious or reactionary. Yeah, well, it's an 80s classic. Not one I'm too, you know. It's one I really enjoy, but I'm not like a sort of an uber fanboy of the film, but it's one I would like to have. So, yeah. I'm not too protective and precious over it, if you get my drift, so to speak. Wink. Oh. But yeah, I mean, it was £1. Why would I turn that down? So I was in a charity shop one day and saw this sort of a really nice selection of Blu-rays. And talking about a decent Blu-ray in a charity shop, it's only from this year, and one I would have liked to have seen, but not pay the money in the cinema to watch. Sorry, I really should get a mic stand. It's Mortal Engines. I always get this mixed up with that Mortal Instruments, which looks a bit sort of like teen fiction guff, doesn't it? But this is more. It talks about Peter Jackson on the front, like Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, but I don't know where he comes in here because it doesn't say him. I don't know where he is on the back, but produced by. But it looks interesting. I'll sort of give it a go, and it's only from this year, so and it's only £2. So yeah, that came with that funny rhinoceros documentary. Lads, 25 minutes. 25 minutes. If anybody watches Goldie Looking Chains videos on YouTube, they've got this thing they do where they go 25 minutes. You'll know if you watch them. But itchy head. Right, where to go first? Yeah. If anybody has seen though my sort of that little series of charity shop videos I did, the tips and the sort of top 15, there's one that I've laboured many times. It's about the how it's more of an observation than anything about how I think you can get some good stuff in charity shops in and around Christmas, because it's like one of those transitional periods. You know, if people are going to buy lots of shit, you know, logic suggests they're going to make room for it by getting rid of a load of shit. So, in that sense, charity shops should be a good place to go into at Christmas. So, and I won't say that I've done as well this Christmas as I have in past Christmases, because there's a couple of really good finds I've had in recent Christmases, but this is still sort of decent stuff, like better than just bog standard sports games, or like brain training, or you know what I mean, you know what I'm talking about. But I might just show you because I can't think of anything else to say about it. Killzone Collector's Edition. A game I would have liked to played. Not a game. This is sort of one that will get probably traded in once I've played it. But I think it was only £1, and it's slightly better than your bog standard charity shop fare, as I said. And it's the collector's edition. Not that has a bearing on anything, and it's in really nice nick. Yeah, I don't really know. So I've not even played Killzone 2, so I don't know. I'm sure I've heard people say this isn't very good and it's quite difficult, but it's got a nice slippy slip cover, and it's a steelbook. Yeah, so I thought I'd give that a go. Once more probably sort of will for me. I think did these all come in the same place? I don't know, but they're all for me clearly. But this one will be a keeper. It's Time Splitters, one I didn't have. A really early PS2 game. It's only 99p. So all of these were £1 and would have cost me more in computer exchange. So makes sense. Things I want to have. Just want to give things a go. Taste many. What's the term? Don't know. There is a term I'm thinking of, but sample many delights. That's not what I was thinking of, but you'll get the gist. But Time Splitters, meant to be really good. I've got the two Xbox games, the sequel and the third game. Is it Future Perfect? One of them's Future Perfect. I think it's the third one. I think. But this one was a PS2 exclusive, if I'm correct. I think I am. But yeah. And it's one I didn't have, and I just thought, I'll take the opportunity to nab it. And probably the best of the three from this one day. I think this was going back last Saturday or something. Super Paper Mario. This is actually an upgrade because my copy's not that bad, but the disc is absolutely twatted. It works. It's a weird thing. It works. But it's absolutely battered to the point where this is an upgrade, and I'm not sure they'd take it because the disc is that bad, even though it works fine, and it does. But so that might just be something to go back to the charity shop for someone else. But this is a really nice copy, and it's not that it wouldn't get me that much in Computer Exchange in Quidditch, which is strange, considering it's a Paper Mario game, and you think Paper Mario on like the GameCube or the N64, you know, they go for big bucks, don't they? Or relatively in terms of whatever. But this wasn't one I could pass up really, and it's only £1, so I can't remember. That was a scope where I can't remember, but. Yeah, so that was from one day. These next two were from one particular charity shop in Muswell Hill, All Dogs Matter, one of the more ramshackle charity shops, and those are always my favourite ones, the ramshackle ones, because the disorganised ones. Yeah, really nice woman. I've been in there before. I bought, probably last year sometime, I bought a box only of Metroid Fusion on the GBA. Really nice nick in it, and I thought when I first saw it sitting there, bingo, Metroid Fusion. Opens up, it literally had everything bar the cart. So I was a little bit gutted. I took it to the counter. And said, "Oh, excuse me, do you have the cart? Because I've got this and it's not got the game in it." And she went, "Oh no," and then sort of apologised. And then I wanted to buy the cart anyway, but then she guilt tripped me into paying full price just for the box. Because I asked her, "Well, how much you want for it then?" And she went, "Well, you can pay £2 if you really want to." And I think, "Oh fucking hell, I've got to pay £2 now, all right?" Because it would have been £2 with the game, but she guilt tripped me into it. But these two are for the same place, and it's sort of similar things sort of happened. Although in this instance, I sort of came out of it sort of in a more favourable position. She knew, it had a bit of banter. 2 games. They had a big box of DVDs and random crap and some decent games in them. These are current gen games, good ones. They didn't have any prices on them. I'll get them out. I'll get the first one out where it's not one I can use. Batman Arkham Knight. And the other one I thought was the better of the two at the time, but turns out it's not. Well, in one sense it is, because it's Rare Replay and sealed. So I would have thought Rare Replay would have been sort of big bucks, but no. Sort of thing, maybe down the line, but it's probably sold in two big numbers. But so I took him to the counter, and I asked her how much, and we had a bit of backwards and forwards, a bit of banter, and she said to me, she literally just bought her son. So going back a couple of weeks, literally just bought her son a Switch game that cost £45, and she was using that as a frame of reference to judge how much to charge me for these. I was going, oh shit, she's going to charge me about £10 or something. But in the end, she only charged me £1. I thought, bingo. So yeah, and she was telling me about how, yeah, £45 for a Switch game, but it sort of counted as his Christmas present as well, because his birthday was only a couple of weeks before Christmas. And then we had a bit of a backwards and forwards about that, and she ended up telling me how her birthday's today, basically, I think. 23rd. Yeah, her birthday's today. So if you're watching, she won't be, but if you are, happy birthday, lady from All Dogs Matter. But yeah, so I got those for £2. Obviously, not having an Xbox One, I can't use them, but I'm not going to pass them up for £1, am I? So they're sort of traders, and weirdly, I think they only get me about £3 in like trading. It's nuts. You can be a lot better than that, but no. This one will get me 4 if it's not gone down since. They probably have. They've probably both gone down, but I thought I'd have a go. Turns out I wasn't quite so in the money as I thought I was, but Right. I think I'll do these next. My X, no, not X. I still like it. I'll say X just for convenience sake, excuse me. My ex-favourite branch of cash converters, because I've done really well out of it in the past. It's slowed down in recent years. They're a bit more organised. Their game shells are a bit more sparse and a bit more, just general football stuff. Price is a little bit maybe more considered. But in the past, if anybody's watched my videos for a few years, I got really nice N64 bundle. It's a clear blue N64 console with a controller, not a clear blue controller. It's just a blue controller. A load of good games, some boxed, all shrink wrapped for a tenner, which was like, wow. And a boxed copy of Luna on the GBA, which I think it was US only, which was a bit nuts to see. And best thing from there, as well as some other good stuff, was a copy of Mega Man Legends. I was just sort of randomly one day. But not really, honestly, seen too much of that calibre since. But I still go in there on the off chance, and in this case, it sort of paid off. I think, to an extent it did. I went in there because they're sort of branch. They're in this lively area. Let's call it lively. I like it. I like the area. It's a sort of place that has. I think people trade in their old sound systems from Carnival. When you go in there, some big fuck off speakers, like giant speakers. There's always someone like trying them out. So there's always someone like fiddling with the volume, and you go in there and you're just perusing through the games, and then all of a sudden you get this sort of assault on the senses, like this big bit of volume just from your side just hits you right across the face with some fat bass. But I like it. It's lively. But in this instance, I went in there and it was, quite crowded. There's only two guys serving, and one of them saw me waiting to be served, and he sort of apologised because he said there was only two people serving. They were short staffed. Well, I was fine. Sort of fine. Yeah, cheers. That's fine. I don't mind. I wasn't really doing anything. I was just there on the off chance, and eventually he got round to me, and I wanted something in their front cabinet, and it was music quite loud. He was a bit flustered, so I said, "Oh, excuse me, mate. Can I get something out of your cabinet? Can I have a look?" I wanted to have a look. Condition, because I'd looked at it through the glass and made my best judgment from what I could see, and I think it was worth looking at, and the prices were decent. I think, because one of them was slightly obscured, so I couldn't even see exactly what the price was. But yeah, so he went into the front display window, and he brought them out, and he took them straight to the till and started ringing them up. I thought, oh shit. I didn't have the cojones to tell him, no, sorry, sir. I only wanted to have a look to see if they are up to scratch. But no, I didn't say it like that. I wouldn't say it like that. Anyway. That's all I wanted. I only wanted to have a look, but I didn't have the balls to tell him that, sorry, sir, I only want to have a look. So I just let him ring them up, and I thought, fuck it, I'm going to pay it. But one of them, I sort of knew how much it was going to be. I couldn't say for certain. And then I'll show you. Fuck it, I'll get them out. Basically, two PlayStation controllers. This one, a PS1 one of the later ones, really nice nick for £1. So I thought, I looked at it, and I looked at the texture on the thumbsticks and the texture on the D-pad, and they were both good. The thumbsticks, turns out they're really tight, so I got lucky. So I had actually paid for them before I got to feel the thumbsticks. So in that way, my £1 was worth it. The one that I was more worried about was this one. It's a PS3 controller. I wasn't even sure it was a DualShock or a 6-axis. Turns out I was lucky it was a DualShock. But as people know, PS3 controllers are notoriously flaky. I'd looked at the thumbsticks and there was a fair amount of texture on the rubber. So I thought, yeah. Turns out for the D-pad, the top button is a little bit worn, which I didn't really see. The bottom ones are okay. But it did look in decent nick, and I think the price was like the label was like that. I could sort of see that like that, and I bent right down because it was right down low, and I was thinking, what price is that? That could be $2.99 or it could be $12.99. I don't know. So I took a bit of a gamble. If he charged me $12.99, I would have gone, "You're right, son," but no, no, I wouldn't have said that. But I would basically politely declined because But I think I've done all right. Well, to be honest, I don't know because I've not actually sort of I've bottled so far charging up to test because I know how flaky these can be. Because I don't want it to be confirmed that my $2.99 was a dud investment. But because I've got two PS3 controllers. The first one came with it, and it's okay, it works, but it rattles, and that rattle annoys me. The second one was $3.99, I think, or £3 in a charity shop, and it was in really nice nick, but I'd had no idea that it was actually fucked. When you try and use it, it sends your PS3 nuts, and the cursor goes all over the place, and you can't control it, and you physically have to go and turn the console off at the wall or at the console just so you can get control over your console back, and then turn the controller off, and then basically hook it up with a good one so that you can never touch it again, basically. So yeah, I took a gamble, and I paid me money. I paid me $3.99, and having not actually physically touched the controller, left the shop straight away. Got them out of the bag and felt thumbsticks a little bit loose. Don't know. They do spring back, but I think they probably have been well. I don't know. There's decent texture on the thumbsticks. They couldn't be that well used, but they've got all the telltale grime in amongst in the grooves, so they've been used in that sense. But. So yeah, I walked to the bus, sort of like feeling, I don't know, I couldn't say if I'd done well or not. Maybe I should go and charge them up to find out. Finally find out to see if I've been made a mug of. But fuck it. For £4, it's worth a punt. £4. £4 for a good quality PS1 controller is not that bad, is it? But if it does work, then I've got two usable PS3 controllers. If not, I've learnt my lesson. So yeah, I reckon I've looked at the stuff I've got left, and I reckon what's left is going to take me up to an hour. Let's see if I can get through it within the hour. Right, let's have a drink of Lidl's finest, Golden Goose. Actually, isn't that Christmassy? Golden Goose. No, it's a pantomime, isn't it? There was a golden goose in Jack and the Beanstalk, wasn't there? There's no golden gooses in the tree, was there? That's a partridge. In 12 Days of Christmas. I don't know what I'm talking about. Right. A bit of a boob story. A boob story. Story about a bit of a boob that I made. A bit of a boobs. Let's just say boobs one more time. Boobs. Yeah, I was out going back. This was a Friday this time. I don't always go out on a Friday. Generally, it's Saturday. But if I go out on a Friday, I will take the opportunity because generally, I think if I can get out on a midweek, there's less competition. It just generally feels like you go out in charity shops on a Saturday. Just feels more crowded. But I was out on a Friday, and it was one of the first places I went to. I saw a whole load of DVDs, load of rubbish, some Blu-rays, Doctor Who Blu-rays, and then amongst them was steelbook, Doctor Who Blu-ray steelbook, sealed, and it was a strange front cover. If I've got a picture of it, I actually tweeted about it, about the story. I'll sort of superimpose a picture to show you what it is. And it was a Doctor Who Blu-ray steelbook, brand new, sealed, and it's, I do like Doctor Who, but I'm not going to be going around buying Blu-rays of Doctor Who to keep. But in this instance, I sort of looked at it. I think it was about £150, £2 or something like that, and I didn't know whether to. In the end, I just left it because, like I said, it's not something I'm going to really want to keep. But it would have been nice to watch or maybe sort of trade in. So I left it. I should have looked it up if I had a proper phone, but as I've said countless times in the past, I don't have a phone that I can look stuff like that up. So I just put it down to, took a judgment call. Turns out that was a bit of a fuck up. I went home and I made a mental note of it, went home, looked it up. Oh, Jesus. And I think Amazon sell a copy. It's out of print sort of thing. Amazon sell them for probably clearly Amazon have got old copies, old new stock or something, and Amazon had them for. I think it was Amazon actually themselves. So maybe I don't know. Amazon had them for £70, £69.99. They were selling for around about 35, 40 quid on eBay, and it was a Blu-ray steelbook. Sorry, hit the mic. Called Doctor Who Special Edition Steelbook Blu-ray. This thing called Shada. It was a Tom Baker episode of Doctor Who, so quite an old one. Not something I knew about. I took the judgment call and fucked up. Turns out I should have had it. And that was the Friday. It was early on a Friday, so there was a long time left in the day for someone else to go and nab it. So, but I thought, chances are someone might have passed over it. So I thought to myself, I've done it before. Let's go back the next day. But whereas the time before, I'd made that similar decision when I got the Hero Quest. What's the word? Hero Quest expansion box set, expansion box that ended up being worth a lot of money. In this instance, that was at the end of the day. That was about an hour and a half left of the day for someone else to come and nab it. In this instance, basically had the whole day's worth for someone else to come and buy it. So I thought, oh, fuck it, I'm going to go. It's Saturday morning. I'm not doing anything on Saturday morning, so I went back down, took my camera with me, had someone got it. Of course they had. It was gone. Fuck it. Chalk it up to experience. If I ever see one ever again, I'm going to pounce on it like a motherfucker. But a little bit dejected, went my own way. I thought, I'm up earlier than normal. Let's go around the rest of the charity shops. Didn't find anything. Walked a little bit further away. There's some more charity shops. Went to those. And it turned out that it sort of worked out in my favour. I think it was about £1, £2. I think £1.50, something like that. To look at it, you go, well, that's no great shakes, is it? But anybody knows their PS2 games, this is actually probably slightly better than you'd imagine. It's PES 2013, one of the last PS2 games released from 2012. Not that expensive a game. The 2014 version, which I do actually have, but mine's German. It's sealed, but it's German, so probably not worth as much if it was a sealed UK copy. And when I say German, I think it's fully German. So if I was to play it, it wouldn't even have an English language option. So I've just left it. So yet another thing I've been tempted to take to the London gaming market to see if they give me anything for it. But this is in English. This is an English one, and it's. If anybody knows their PS2 games, they will know that this is worth having. These last two, I don't know about 2012, but 13 and 14 are worth having. The conditions aren't best. It looks alright on the inside, but the disc is absolutely mullered. But I'll get it resurfaced. This one I'll keep, but you know, it's sort of made up for the fuck up. But I'm just gonna sort of pause for 5 minutes. So give me a little bit of time. I'll see you in a couple of seconds. See you later. Sorry. Jehovah's Witnesses. I'm the worst at dealing with Jehovah's Witnesses. In this instance, it was really odd because they knocked on the door, and rather than sort of start talking about God, they sort of phrased it in a different way. She said to me, she asked me how I could help her, and it really threw me, really sort of bamboozled me, and I sort of went, in the other sort of closed the door on her. I feel really guilty. But why should I feel guilty about sort of someone who's tried to bring their religion to me? I'm not religious. You know, don't try and impose it on me, but still I feel guilty for struggling to be polite. And and close the door. Anyway, I've forgotten where I was. Where was I? Sorry, I didn't mean to turn that off. For some reason, I forgot that it was recording. So there might be a little jump there. Was there a little jump? Probably was a little jump. But what an idiot. But yeah, it's sort of made up for the screw up, the Blu-ray that I should have picked up. But yeah, not bad. I'll get the disc buffed, and it'll be more worthwhile. So yeah, but I've looked at it. I've looked at the disc at the moment. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. No, I can't be asked. I can't be asked to get out to show you, to be honest. But yeah, it'll be worthwhile once the disc's buffed. But I have to know where to put all this shit now. I've got no room. Hang on. There you go. Let's whack that there. Right. Right. Where are we? Purchases. Yeah, these are all pretty much purchases myself. You know, bit of presents for myself, pre-Christmas presents for myself. Why not? Why not? I deserve it. Well, actually, no. This one's it's an Amazon purchase, but it was more because I had to make up the 20 quid. I had to make the 20 quid threshold for free delivery. Is it me, or are they charging about £4.50 a fiver for delivery now if you don't go over that threshold? Fuck off. They're already sort of, you know, I already feel really guilty for using Amazon because they're basically corporate arseholes. Have you heard what they do to their workers? That Jeff Bezos guy, what immoral arsehole. But anyway, I already feel bad enough, and then they're trying to hate me even more by charging me a fiver for a delivery of, don't know, something that costs a quid or something. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, in this instance, I have in the past I have actually I have used their service and accidentally signed up. I did sign up for a free trial and forgot to cancel it, and ended up paying them for a month's worth, which really made me feel really bad. So basically, I used that service for as much as I could to get my money's worth until my month was up, and then I cancelled it. So I ain't getting any more of my money than they've already got. But I do think they've got me by the balls, though. Does anybody else agree? Not me, but everyone else, respectively. You know. Does anyone else agree that Amazon have got me by the balls? Listen to what you're saying, Owen. But anyway, yeah, it's Christmas. Coming up to Christmas, I do generally buy a lot of Christmas presents on Amazon. You know, it doesn't make me feel very good, but as I said, I feel like they've got me by the balls. And no, I was trying to get up over the 20 quid threshold. I thought I couldn't think of anything else to buy, so I thought, sod it, I'm going to treat myself. I'll treat myself with this. It's a really nice thing. So nice. It's so well made. So well made. I've had a look. I've not tried it out yet, but I've had it out of the box, and it's such a nice thing. I just love the blue see-through thing. It's just Yeah, I've got two 6-button Mega Drive pads, and to be honest, when I first bought them, I think I was sort of kidding myself because they were clearly knockoffs, clearly hooky, because they're light as fuck. The cord's really like about that long, and it's probably like wiry and rigid. And looking back at it, I thought there's no way these aren't duds, but they clearly are. But the thing is, I've never seen a bootleg controller or anything like that that has the logo on. I think those had the Sega logo, and it was a decent logo, but they're so cheap and nasty. There's no way that they're the real thing. But I don't know. I was kidding myself. But they work really well. Weirdly, they work really well. But I thought, no, I thought, fuck it. It means I don't have to rely on those anymore if I ever want to play a 6-button game. So I've been wanting one of these for a long time, and the price doesn't go down. So in the end, I thought, screw it. The price had gone down about 13p. You can't really. I don't know where else you can get them. So if I wanted one, where else am I going to get it? Probably from Retrobit, because Retrobit is the company. Do they sell their own stuff? I don't know. It's a nice thing, but you know, I'll give money to charity. I'll pay my penance some way. But I went to the London gaming markets. Who knew? Well, I did, and people who follow me on Twitter did, because I tweeted about it. Or did I? No, I did. I'm sure I did. Oh, one thing. Basically, it's Riven. This was oddly, it's not like an expensive or really sought after game, but oddly it was really high up on my list because it was sort of something that had been sort of evading me. I think on one occasion I sort of the price was really low. I think it was about £4. Not an expensive game. The price has gone steadily higher. I think it will cost you about £8, maybe a bit higher than that in CEX now. But I can remember going into one branch. It was about £4 or £5, and I went in there and said, "Excuse me, can I have a copy of look at your copy of your copy of Riven, please?" And oh yeah, what's this? And he brought it back. He goes, "Oh, I don't know what I've seen this before." And me pretending that I knew, so I was Billy Big Bollocks who knew all his shit. I went, "Oh yeah, it's meant to be like it's the sequel to Myst," and the guy sort of looks at it and goes, "Oh yeah, it says it on the box." Is me trying to sound like I know what I'm talking about, and I've done a bit of a Kaiser Soze and just read it off the notice board, and it's almost like he's found me out. No, I'm a charlatan. No, I did genuinely know it was a sequel to Myst, but it looked like I just read it off the box. But I did genuinely know that it was before I'd seen the box. I knew it was a sequel to Myst, but yeah. The price has steadily gone up, and on eBay they always look a bit rough. There's always something. There's like a missing disc because it's a 5-disc or something like that. Or the manual looks a bit shitty, not well thumbed. But I saw it I think it was just a couple. There was a girl and a boyfriend. They weren't one of the dealers, so they were, their prices were okay, and it was only £6, sealed. And I asked her if it was complete because I knew it was a 5-disc and had the manual, and she opened it up and she offered to let me have a look, but I thought, I could always see it had 5 discs and they were in good nick, and and the manual was all right. So I offered her a £5 for it, and she deferred to her boyfriend. They sort of went, and then she came back to me and it's fine. So yeah, £5. So didn't quite justify the cost of getting up to Russell Square, which costs about £6, or the entrance, which is £2. So add that on top. So £5. So what's that? £13 in total. That cost me in real terms. But no. But actually, that's a good price for this now. Not £13, a £5. But right. Last two. Another. I treated myself again. No particular reason, I think. This was quite a good price. I think it's a PS1 game that was on my list, but it's one that people don't really talk about. It looks good. It's a game called Tiny Tank. It's sort of taking the idea of the cute mascot, but sort of sweary mascot in the vein of something like Conker's Bad Fur Day. You know, as you can see, he's a little cute tank, but he's angry like that, and it's got a strange plot where he's some sort of mascot, some sort of in a future dystopia. He's like a national mascot or corporate mascot, and he has to fight for them. I don't really understand, but it looks good, and he has to. It's sort of in the vein of something like Twisted Metal, one of those, but more shooty, and it looks good fun, to be honest. It's not a game people talk about, and it's always one that's interested me. And it was a good price. It was about £12, which I think is probably the bottom end of what you would pay for it. It does go sometimes a little bit higher. I think there was one copy that was lower, but it was an Australian copy, and there was another copy that was missing a manual. But generally, around about £12 is a good price. So I thought, yeah, I'll have a go with that. So Tiny Tank, not one I've played, but it was one I wanted. So, is that good enough an excuse? Excuse for buying it? Excuse for what, you say? I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. But anyway, I've got it now, so who cares? But yeah, Tiny Tank. It was, like, to be honest, it was one that I'd sort of had an eye on for a long time. And all the gameplay I've watched, the talk in the comments box is always that it's held in high regard. But not that you can always trust what people say in comments boxes. I've learned that the hard way. Finally, I spent some of my CEX credit not on a PS1 game, but I've had it for such a long time. I was so pissed off. Maybe this CEX request thing will help me in that regard. That's one of the reasons why I've done it. But I got involved. In this instance, I was in a relatively close branch, not one I go to often. I knew they had some decent stuff in stock, and I was there, and I thought, while I'm here, I'll just check it out, because I knew it was there. It won't hurt to ask. It's a copy of Probotector. And what I've noticed on eBay, is that the price varies a lot. If it's missing bits, then it will go, £60 or so. But if it's in good nick, with a good manual and just generally in good nick, it goes over £100. And if you look at how much they go for on the continent, including like the EU, because it's a multi-language, multi-language and all that, regularly there's sort of three figures, good, sort of mid-high three figure, not high three figures, maybe sort of 120 to 150, something like that. But I think this is in really good nick, and the guy, little bonus, the guy didn't mind that, or he actually suggested it himself, that I pay with all my shrapnel first. So I ended up giving him about 8 credit notes, starting with 10p, going up to about £30, and then all in all it came to about just over the price, which at the time was 115, which was a good price. 115, like I said, it was sort of I'm paying credit, so I don't mind, and that was a good price as it is. Of course, me being me, the price has now gone down significantly to £98. So, £98, which would have been even better, but I can't. It's in such good nick. Look, it's in such good nick. See, look. Generally, the manuals are good, sort of a watermark. Watermark is what I'm talking. A good judgment for the general condition. The manual's in really nice nick, but so is the cart is as well. But generally, I thought I couldn't see it staying there that long because it's in such a good quality condition. So, in the end, I can't complain that much. It would have been nice to get it for £98, but I treat myself. I'm not as shit at it as I thought I was going to be, because I've played Contra Hardcore. That's exactly the same game, isn't it? Sort of, but changed for political reasons. I think there's a political reasoning behind why they're different. But then this is exactly the same game, and I'm shit at that. But I think I persevered with this, and I'm actually not too bad. I think the very first go that I had at it, I died within the sort of the first 30 seconds. But then then I sort of got my act together and did all right. But yeah, that's basically, I got frustrated with not sort of being able to use my credit, and in the end, sort of I just dropped a load of it on a copy of ProRotator for 115. So yeah, right. I'm gonna let you go. If I've heard from Santa, I'll superimpose his little postcard, little message somewhere at the end, because maybe he'll send us a little video message, or maybe it's just sort of like a postcard or something. I don't know. But if I've heard from him, then you'll see it in a minute. But if not, I'll let you go. Have a good Christmas, and hope everybody gets what they're after. And drinks lots, eats lots, and is generally merry and bright. So thanks for watching, and Merry Christmas. See you later. Twats.